Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 6th October 2024. So let's get started, and today is Sunday. So there are very less number of articles which are relevant from our examination point of view, because today there is no text and context, no opinion page and no editorial page. Okay, so let us see the first article. So see here, title guys, biggest encounter in Chhattisgarh leaves 3 more Maoists dead. So this article which is seen daily in news from past 1 week because of anti-Naxal operations which are taken by Government of India. So here you have to focus on this name of operation, Operation Akarsh. So here obviously whenever you are having any disaster, government will be taking some operations to provide some humanitarian aid, or for example relief, or for example providing of food, etc. So like that you will be getting questions in your prelims regarding these operations. So here this Operation Akash is related to anti-Naxal operation in our country. So here you may get a question like, recently Operation Akash is in news, what it is related to. So you will be getting options like humanitarian aid in Kerala, or else humanitarian aid in Oman. So like that, we will be getting some interlinking between in India and as well as even help in other countries. So actually it is about anti-Naxal movement that you have to remember. It is anti-Naxal. So already we discussed about this topic in yesterday's class itself. There we saw what is left-wing extremism, what are the causes of this left-wing extremism, and next one here is what are the measures taken by the government, and you have to see what is the way forward. And I already said that how you will be getting question in your ethics GS paper 4 case study as well. So all these are important points, but now let us focus on only what exactly this article is talking about clearly. So there are 3 more Maoist bodies they had been recovered in this operation. So finally the score went to 31. So it is one of the most successful operation which had been undertaken by the government. Okay, and if you see some important details, the key points that you have to get from this article here is the scale of operation. So actually, so this encounter scale is very huge, so that in this operation itself 31 encounters, 31 bodies had been recovered. And actually we are focusing on dismantling of Maoist strongholds in Chhattisgarh now. So actually we know that Maoism or Naxalism or left-wing extremism is one of the very important internal security threat we are facing. And already we saw the data that from 2014 onwards, after this BJP government came into power at the central level, so they took a lot of operations so that there is drastical decreasing of this now Naxalism effects which are seen in our country. But even though still it is present, so our government is strongly focusing on dismantling of entire Maoism in our country. So here if you are getting any question from internal security from GS paper 3 means like how and what are the government measures to control this Naxalism and how far they are effective, means you have to write this kind of operations and you can give the data and you can substantiate your argument with the data which is given here. Okay, so this is the first important point. And next one here is one more significant event that happened in this operation is loss of senior Maoist. So actually senior leaders, they were killed, and this operation which mainly aimed to disrupt leadership structures in this Naxal movements. So whenever if you are killing the leader, then what happens? Obviously we can control that. So even if the war is going on, so always we will be aiming to kill the king of the opposite party, so that there will be lack of leadership, and obviously what happens? So we can end that war. So in the same way, our government is focusing on ending or disrupting of leadership of Naxalism to control this movement. And next one here is even lots of challenges are faced by our security forces, like environmental conditions, and even there is no proper infrastructure here, and even there is no proper logistics, and even the adaptability to that environment is very less for our security forces. So because of these challenges, so it had been taken a lot of time to control this Naxal movements in our country. And next one here is, yes, despite the success of this operation, so there are around 100 to 150 armed Maoists in that region. That means only we killed for 31 members, but still more than 100 people they are there. Again, it may pose a great challenge to our government of India. And we need proper vigilance, and further we have to go for series of operations in this region so that we can control this Naxalism in this area. And actually there is also impact on community as well. All of you might be knowing that, yes, local community will be always helping this Maoist. So because of this, what happened, the survival of this people or Naxals is happening in our country. So here we have to focus on the displacement of those people. So whenever we are displacing them, what happened, so the local support to this Maoist can be discontinued, and even we can see that, yes, this local people always will be supporting this Naxalism. So we can discontinue that. And next one here is, if they are doing any firing, so we can also decrease the loss of life of civilians. That means we are focusing on security of civilians. And we need to take long-term strategy so that we can focus especially on these remote areas. And we know that still more than 100 to 150 Maoists, they were still present in this region. So if you're taking the long-term strategy, we can completely eliminate this Naxalism in our country. And next one is, for this, we need proper resources, resource allotment. For example, we have to focus on deploying of security forces and arming of them, and even we have to modernize our equipment. So for all these, we need resource allocation. So this is the thing that you have to focus from this article. So whatever the rest which is relevant from our static thing, so already we discussed in our yesterday's class. Okay, see this article, JEM operative held after NIA searches 26 different locations. So what is the keyword? JEM, that is Jaish-e-Mohammed. What is it? It is a terrorist organization, right? So what is this NIA? National Investigation Agency. So from which subject you can deal with this topic? From internal security and as well as from international relations, because this JEM is Pakistan-based terrorist organization. Okay, so we can read this topic from GS paper 2 under India, Pakistan, bilateral relations, and as well as GS paper 3 under internal security. So here you have to focus on Jaish-e-Mohammed, and you have to focus on the keyword NIA, National Investigation Agency. So do you know any facts regarding this? What is this NIA? So what are the cases will be dealt by this NIA? So why this NIA is doing operations now? So why it is going for search and rescue thing? So why? What is happening now? Any idea? Any idea? Okay, so this article is saying that NIA, that is National Investigation Agency, arrested leader of Jaish-e-Mohammed. His name is Sheikh Sultan Salahuddin Ayubi. So this person, he alleged that he is one of the operative in this Jaish-e-Mohammed, and during searches in more than 26 locations across our country, NIA arrested this person who had link with this Jaish-e-Mohammed. So the operation targeted mainly in Assam, Maharashtra, UP, Delhi, and Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so finally, investigation said that yes, radicalization is happening in our country, and there are some people who are belonging to this group. They are trying to recruiting terrorist activities. Okay, so recently in GS paper 4 of your ethics, there is one case study. What is that case study about? Recruitment of whom? Recruitment of unemployed people into terrorist organization. There the link was how social media is used by this terrorist organization, how they are using them to recruit this unemployed people. So again there is a chance of getting again a case study regarding this topic, because especially those people, they are recruiting youth for terrorist activities in our country. So what happens if Indian youth, they are joining terrorist organizations? What will be the impact? Is it good for our country? Is it ethical? Then what will happen if youth are engaging in these terror activities in our country? So why youth are joining this terrorist organization? Why they are showing interest? Why? What are the reasons? Yes, unemployment. Next. If you're getting this kind of messages in social media, will you join any terror organization? Huh? Then why other people are joining? What is the reason? What is the difference between you and them? Education. Next, come on. Education, unemployment, other reasons. On that day, I said why people are okay. They are motivated in what means? Okay, they are influenced. How? How they are influenced? Come on, think. So today I will be giving you mains question on this topic. Then only you will read, or else you won't. Okay, see this details. We can understand that we are undergoing coordinated national operations. This NIA, which is going for extensive searches across multiple states, so that we can understand that they want to disrupt the terror networks operating in India. So recently, India's role in anti-corruption or anti-terrorism had been increased. How? How? Anti-corruption and terror financing. So recently, FATF, why it is in news? FATF status of India. We are, what did FATF said regarding India, whether we are doing good or bad? In which list we have? In which list FATF placed India? So I said there are 4 lists. Apart from grey list and black list, in which list India was placed? Very good following of current affairs. So India is taking good steps to control money laundering and as well as terror financing. Okay, so that is the statement which is given by FATF now. And even we are focusing on disrupting of terror networks. There you can add about the role of NIA also. So how India is tackling this terror financing and terrorism related issues. You can add even the role of NIA. So that is the thing that you have to learn from this article. Okay. So if you see the person who is one of the key in this Jaish-e-Mohammed group, who had been arrested. So because of this, what happened? Again, we are going to have threats to our national security. How? So if any one important person of that group who is arrested, then what happens? So have you seen many movies of hijacking of aeroplanes? Why hijacking? So they will be demanding to release the people who are in prison. Yes or no? Again, now there is increased security threat for our country. And next one here is, yes, especially government is focusing on radicalization of youth, and because of that we need to take some counter radicalization strategies so that we can address this problem of entering of youth into this terror activities. We can stop or we can prevent recruiting of unemployed youth into terror activities. And next one here is, so what are the documents they got? Electronic devices. So they had been captured by our police forces and they are using them to extract the information so that we can get the chain of information regarding what is happening inside. And next one here is, we need interstate collaboration to address this kind of issues because the people will be present. You know about the sleeper cells? What is the sleeper cells is about? Sleeper cells. So whenever they are getting information, they will be getting activated and they will be doing some terror related activities. So are these sleeper cells will be present in one area? No, they are widespread. So if you want to control this kind of activities, then we have to need interstate collaboration between the different states, sharing of information and supporting for investigation, etc. And this one here is, now NIA is saying that yes, whenever youth is involving in this terror activities, already some youth might have been recruited. So they may do some activities in future. So what happened? Obviously, we will be having public security concern. So we need to have proper engagement with the community so that we can stop further recruitment of youth into this terror organizations. And we need to have continuous monitoring so that we can dismantle these terror networks which are operating in our country. Clear? So you have to know about this NIA. There is a high chance of getting question in this regarding this NIA. NIA is Central Counter-Terrorism Law Enforcement Agency, and actually it works under Ministry of Home Affairs. So when it was created in 2008 after Mumbai attacks. So do you know about this Mumbai attacks? So through which route this terrorists they came into India? Yes, sea route. That means we need to focus on even seaways. That means we have to strengthen Navy. So after that only we understood that yes, we need to want a dedicated organization which will be deal with this terror related things. So for that we came up with this Counter Terrorism Law Enforcement, that is NIA, in year 2008. And the important aim it is to combat terrorism. And next, it is a statutory body. So it had been established under NIA Act of 2008. So which of the cases will be investigated by this NIA? It will be deals with sovereignty and integrity of India. It will be dealing with the security of our country, and it will be dealing with friendly relations with the foreign countries, and it will be also involving in implementation of international treaties and agreements, and as well as it will be working with United Nations and as well as other international organizations. So these are the important functions. On these functions also you may get prelims based question. Okay, see what is this article is talking about? What is this image? Some dam, right? So title says 6-decade-old canal system of Hirakud Dam to get facelift. So what is the keyword here? Hirakud Dam. So on which river it is located? Geography is done. Hirakud Dam, yeah, famous dam. Hirakud Dam. Geography. Online guys, on which river we have this Hirakud Dam? Hmm? So tell me at least what are the problems faced by our dams in India? Huh? What are the problems of our Indian dams? So at least tell me when this Hirakud Dam was built. It was built like 60 years ago. That means around 6 decades ago. So tell me now what are the problems faced by our Indian dams? Yeah, okay. Outdated infrastructure. Next. Okay, material quality is poor. Okay, next. Increased sedimentation. Next. 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 What are the problems? Are we going for reconstruction anywhere? We are not focusing on allocation of resources, that is very poor maintenance. Okay, so because of all these problems, what will be the impact now? What will be the impact? Okay, if we can't maintain the floods, next. If suddenly dam collapse, then what happens? Disaster. Next. So tell me what are the, why we will be constructing dams? So what is the purpose of constructing dams? Storage of water, and we can divert for irrigation facilities. Next, that will help enhance our food security. Next, yes, hydropower generation. uh, okay, we have to stop more amount of water to be joined into sea. Next, okay, agriculture and economic activities. So actually the problem with this Hirakud dam here is it was built 6 decades ago, and actually there is high water wastage happening. So we have to decrease this water wastage. So because of this, we are going for updation or modernization of this Hirakud dam. So because of this is in news. So from which subject you can see this dam? GS paper 1 obviously from Indian geography. So every year you can get question from river system. For sure one question from Himalayan river system and next question is from Peninsula river system. So Himalayan river system you can get like basic facts, but from Peninsula river system you will be getting shocking questions like dams. Okay, you should be very careful with that. So you have to see like which are the west flowing rivers, east flowing rivers, and even they are asking like tributaries are joining the main river at which place, and even they are asking like where this exactly the dam located, like whether the river tributary wherever it is joining river we have that dam, or in which state, or even they are precisely asking whether there is any lake nearby this, whether there is meandering is happening or not for that so and so river, so whether there is any oxbow lakes which had been present or not. So you have to clearly open your Google map and try to see that river for sure, so that you will be having pictographic memory for a long time. And if you are getting any question, you can solve that question. Okay, you have to be very careful with this peninsula rivers. So Himalayan rivers, you will be doing that. We have only 3 and they are mostly facts based. If you remember those facts, you can do that. But it is not in the case of peninsula, because actually earlier in 2022, I guess you got question regarding dam on Tungabhadra river. Okay, so you have to be very careful. So context says that 6-decade-old canal system which is connected to Odisha's Hirakud Dam. So now we are going for renovation of this dam and the project is around 855 crore. So there is no need of remembering this figure. But you have to remember like we are going for renovation of this Hirakud Dam in Odisha. Why? We have to improve efficiency of irrigation and we have to reduce water wastage. And this project which aims to benefit the farmers of the several districts, and this renovation is to be completed by 2027 to 2028, but we are not sure about that. Okay, so in this renovation what we are doing here is, so whatever the earthen channels, that means the channels which are made up of mud, we are converting into concrete. So whenever we are making that into concrete, the water seepage into the soil will be reduced. That means there will be increased availability of water in the channel so that we can divert them for the irrigation facilities that will be helping agriculture. Okay, so here if you see the details, it says that Hirakud Canal is very critical infrastructure which is serving for proper irrigation, proper agriculture, food security from past 60 years onwards. So whenever we are going for this renovation, it is an important step for ensuring regional agriculture in the state of Odisha. And next one here is we are also going to invest more on this. Why? Because there is a strong commitment of increasing of agriculture GDP to our country. That means economical point of view I will be saying here. So whenever there is increasing of water availability and whenever we are having increased irrigation facilities, what happens? So who will be getting benefited? Local people. Who are that local people? Farmers. And we will be increasing local economy, local standard of living of people, and we can increase employment opportunities in agriculture. So everything is interconnected here, and even we can increase crop yields. And next one here is by reducing this water wastage, so we can also focus on better water conservation practices so that we can even fight against climate change as well, and even we can achieve sustainable development goals. And this one here is, so it is an example of infrastructure modernization in our country. So always we'll be talking about modernization of equipments of defense, but why we are not focusing on modernization of infrastructure, especially related to the dams? So it is one of the important steps which is taken by the government for modernization of our irrigation now. And next one here is addressing inequality. So whenever we are focusing on availability of water for everyone, then what happen? We can also resolve this kind of conflicts between the districts where they are getting, some areas will be getting more amount of water, some areas will be getting less amount of water. So what is the reason here is because of earthen channels there is water seepage, water wastage is happening. So whenever water wastage is happening, can we ensure equal distribution of water in that state? No. So whenever we are going for modernization, concretization of these channels, we can ensure equal distribution of water so that we can decrease local conflicts as well. And this one is we can focus on agriculture resilience, we can increase food production, And whenever people are getting proper equal distribution of water, obviously they will be getting satisfied, and we can engage with community so that we can address the needs of the local farmers, and obviously we can get the benefits of renovation. So these are the things that you have to remember. And let us see some facts regarding this Hirakud Dam. So Hirakud Dam was built across river Mahanadi, and it is about 15 kilometers in state of Odisha, and it is the longest earthen dam in the world. It is very important, longest earthen dam in the world, and we are renovating this earthen dam now. Okay, and actually dam forms a vast reservoir, and this reservoir is called as Hirakud Reservoir or Hirakud Lake, and is the biggest artificial lake in Asia. It is also a very important fact. And if you are writing other competitive examinations, you will be getting this kind of GK questions, which is the largest earthen lake, so which is the largest artificial lake, like that. Okay, you have to focus on this GK points. And if you see the history of this Hirakud Lake, Hirakud Dam, so it is one of the first multi-purpose project in our country. Okay, after independence, we started this construction year 1948, and by 1953 we completed construction of this Hirakud Dam. It was built especially to control the flow of river Mahanadi, and we want to manage problem of floods in this region. Okay, and this dam was inaugurated by our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. And what is the purpose? So as you all know, first one is irrigation purpose, second one is hydropower, okay, and as well as we need to maintain the delta region, especially we are focusing on flood protection. So these are the three important aims of this Hirakud dams. Clear? Okay, now let us see the next topic. Hidden pandemic of antimicrobial resistance poses challenge. So as of today Sunday, in science paper, I found only 2 articles relevant from our examination point of view, nothing more than that. So what is this antimicrobial resistance? So number of times we discussed. What is this antimicrobial resistance? Which are the microbes, microorganisms examples? Bacteria, fungus, virus, parasites. Next. So if how you will be getting disease? So whenever this disease causing organisms enter into your body, you will be getting signs symptoms, and that situation is called as a disease. So to come out of that disease or to relieve the symptoms, you will be taking antibiotics. So can you tell me examples of antibiotics? Antivirals, antiamoebics, antihelminthics. So like that we have different class, right? So to kill these microbials, we will be taking antibiotics, antifungals, antivirals, antimalarials, antihelminthics. So what happens? So you need to follow certain regimen. Like you have to take minimum dose of 5 days for antibiotics. If you're discontinuing that in between, what happens? This bacteria or virus or fungi which is present in your body will be developing resistance towards that. That means that treatment will be not effective on that. This condition is called as antimicrobial resistance. So whenever any bacteria or fungi or virus which is developing resistance, they are called as superbugs. Okay, so that is the thing that you have to remember. So microorganisms that develop antimicrobial resistance, they are referred as superbugs. So actually WHO said that yes, because of this antimicrobial resistance, it is very serious threat to global health. Why? If whatever the antibiotics that we are using now, so can you tell me some examples of antibiotics, anyone? Which tablets you will be taking? Paracetamol is not an antibiotic. I think you know about this penicillin. Who found this penicillin? Huh? Penicillin. Alexander Fleming from Penicillium notatum. By mistake he found that. Actually, that was not the intention of that person to find this penicillin, but by mistake in his studies he found that. So apart from that penicillin, at least when you are taking tablets, see the name. What is the tablet is about? I think you might have seen about this cefixime, augmenting monosef. No idea. Very good. Okay, so tell me, what is this recent antimicrobial regime for TB? What is that BPAL? Bedaquiline. Uh-huh. Okay, so those are some of the antibiotics that we are using for this TB. So why this spreading of antimicrobial resistance is happening? Why antimicrobial resistance is happening now? Because of irrational use of antibiotics. So if you are getting like even cold, sometimes you will be going to pharmacy and you will be getting OTC medicine, that is over the counter medicine. Over the counter medicine is nothing but if you go to pharmacy and if you say, brother, bro, give me some tablet, I am having cough and cold from last 2 days. So they will be giving medicine, right? So you'll be thinking that rather than going to hospital and paying him this consultation fee and he will be giving the same tablet. So the same thing will be given by pharmacy. So I will be saving money and I will be having biryani outside after once the symptoms subsided, right? So actually they will be not giving the complete course. So they will be giving just 4 tablets and they will be asking you to take morning and evening only 2 days, it will be done. Yes or no? So this is the thing happening, right? So actually the entire course you have to take is 5 days. So because of this, there is increasing of antimicrobial resistance. So it is a fate of our Indian medical system. So actually if you are in any other country, for example USA, so there will be no dispensing of even a single tablet in any pharmacy without prescription of doctor. But here, even if you want to get the sleeping pills, you can get. Yes or no? Okay, so that is the one important reason. Because of this, there is increasing of antimicrobial resistance in India. And next one is there is high prevalence of communicable diseases like tuberculosis, yes, diarrhea, respiratory infection. So whatever the thing, if even there is no requirement of antibiotic, if you go to pharmacy, they are giving antibiotics. And even, especially old people, they know that, yes, I have to take antibiotics, then only I will be getting cured. So that is the psychology of especially old people, grandmother. So even I completed my medicine, even I've said that if you should not take antibiotic, they'll not listen. You don't know anything. You have to take this tablet. Then only you will get cured from this disease. And they won't even listen my words. And they will do what they want. Okay, so like this, yes, because of high prevalence of communicable disease, so there is increasing of antimicrobial resistance and even there is overburdening of public healthcare systems. So if you go for any diagnosis normally, so what is the prerequisite to prescribe antibiotic here is first you have to withdraw your blood or urine sample and we have to go for culture and we have to identify which organism is causing disease in you and we have to do sensitivity of the drugs and which drug is sensitive we have to give that. So for all this process it will be taking more than 7 to 9 days. So within this 7 to 9 days, will you survive with that symptoms? No, right? We need immediate relief. So because of this, without going this procedure, even doctors are prescribing antibiotics. That too broad spectrum antibiotics. So in antibiotics, again, we have two types, broad spectrum and narrow spectrum. Narrow spectrum is it is giving only relief for certain diseases. Broad spectrum means there will be the wide range. So we don't know like which organism is causing disease in you. So in that case, we can't use narrow spectrum. So doctor will be prescribing broad spectrum antibiotics. So it is also an important reason for increasing of antimicrobial resistance. And this one here is there is very poor infection control practices in our country. So because of this also, we are having this kind of antimicrobial resistance and even in judicial use. So often we go for self-medication, incomplete antibiotic courses, and we are using this broad spectrum antibiotic unnecessarily. So these are also some important reasons. And this one here is they are easily available over counter in the pharmacy. Okay, so this is the one important reason. And people, they don't have awareness like what happens if you are discontinuing that. So obviously, even if you're going to any doctor, if they are prescribing 5 days of antibiotics, so there will be no patient counseling. Patient counseling is for sure it is important. It is going on in the other countries, but it is not at all happening in the India. Like for example, if you go to any hospital and they will be giving you the list of medicines that you have to take. After once you take the medicine, you have to go to a counselor and they will be explaining like when you have to take that tablet. So whenever you are taking 2 tablets, if there are any reactions that are going to happen and some drugs if you're taking, you will be getting some symptoms like black colored stools, or you will be getting giddiness. So how you have to prepare for that. And next one here is, and what happens if you're not taking this medicine? So they will be making caution about the use of medicine. So if you're having that patient counseling, obviously you'll be not discontinuing this regimen. So this is also one important thing that you have to focus. It is lack of patient counseling. Okay, so these are the things that you have to remember and see this article. Banning tobacco sales can prevent lung cancer death. So what is the important reason for the lung cancer? Smoking. So despite of knowing that, so people will be seeing that box. On that box, we will be having images of mouth cancer, next lung cancer. And if you go to any movie, first ad will be Mukesh, I have 4 bangles, now no bangles. Yes or no? So despite of this awareness also, still there are increasing of deaths of smoking, which is causing cancer in India. So how can we decrease this lung cancer cases? By decreasing of tobacco. So will government control this tobacco sales? Why? Road tax collections. Whether tax is important or public health is important? Huh? Okay, so which state in our country which is the largest producer of tobacco? AP. AP. Then what AP government is doing? AP government is doing what? So if you are from AP, the first question will be this in your interview. So which state is producing largest tobacco, and you're from that state? So how you are going to control tobacco related deaths? Or else you will be getting question like what are the negative impacts of tobacco, or they'll be asking like what is the active content or active thing in tobacco. So what is the active thing in tobacco? Nicotinamide. So how this nicotinamide having ill effects on your health? So like this also they may be asking you the question. AP students, please be careful. This will be for sure 100% question in your interview. Okay, so now let us see this article. Banning tobacco sales that could save 1.2 million lives from lung cancer globally by preventing smoking in future generations. So nowadays, we are having an alternative for this cigarettes. What are they? E-cigarette, electronic cigarettes. So the claim was like there will be decreasing of what? If you're using this e-cigarette, what happens? There will be less concentration, and even there is no habituation like that. But the same effects are seen even if you are using this e-cigarette, and companies are generating more income. Rather than selling this cigarettes, they are getting more income by selling this e-cigarettes. Okay, again that is profit to companies. Okay, so this study which is saying that we have to prohibit the purchase of tobacco products who are born between 2006 to 2010. So why this 2006 to 2010 only? So calculate the age. So how much they will be? So what is your date of birth? Anyone between this? Anyone? 2005. Okay, you are accepted. Your date of birth? 2002. Okay, so no one unfortunately. So here now we have to prevent the people who had born between this 2006 to 2010, so that we can reduce lung cancer death across 185 countries by 2095. So if you are taking that step now, by 2095, we can decrease the deaths of this lung cancer. It is having a huge time. That means, as I said, if you want to bring attitude change, it will be taking lot of time. Then again, one more example. So what are the key things that you have to see? Yes, we have to focus on life saving. So if you decrease the sales of tobacco products, we can save 1.2 million lives. That means we can understand that there is a critical need. It is the need of hour to control this tobacco. We need to implement stricter regulations. And next one here is, yes, study also saying that 185 countries are projecting that it is a universal public health concern, And we have to go for controlling of tobacco globally. It is the responsibility of each and every country. And this one here is we have to target demographics because these people consider demographic dividend, right? So they are youth and today's citizens, today's children are tomorrow's citizens. So here, if we are ensuring the proper health of these people, obviously we can maintain the health of country in the future. And this one here is we have to take the long-term vision so that the projection saying that if you're taking steps now, we can at least decrease the deaths by 2095. So we have to take long-term vision, and even we have to focus on the culture norm also. So actually in some culture, so smoking is allowed. In some culture, smoking is not allowed. And can we take it as a culture norm? Yes. So because of this, we have to focus on even changing of our culture. In culture, we have two types like material needs and non-material needs. So material needs means the change will happen fastly, but we have to focus on non-material needs. If you want to change this culture from non-material, it will be taking of time. So this smoking is related to non-material thing. And this one is we have to focus on future health benefits. We have to focus on the quality of life of the millions of people, so that initially if you're banning this, it will be having economic impact on the country. But in the future, these people, if you're saving the life in the future, obviously we will be getting double or triple what are the economic loss that we are having now. And this one is we have to focus on preventive healthcare, preventive public health policy, so that we can yield substantial benefits of banning of tobacco. Clear? So these are the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and please to subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy. Don't forget.